Hello, Shalom. Welcome to day 109 of Daily Bread. Continuing our journey in the good news. We'll be reading from Numbers chapter 3, 1 Kings 15, Psalms 109, Proverbs 19, and from the book of Acts chapter 5. We'll be in the scriptures, 2009 version. Numbers chapter 3 is on page 140. And these are the generations of Aaron and Moshe when Yahweh spoke with Moshe on Mount Zion. And these are the names of the sons of Aaron: Nabad, the firstborn, and Abid, Eleazar, and Ishmar, and Ithmar. These are the names of the sons of Aaron, the anointed priests, whom he ordained to act as priests. And Nabad and Abid had died before Yahweh when they brought strange fire before Yahweh in the wilderness of Zion. And they had no children, so Eleazar and Ithmar acted as priests in the presence of Aaron their father. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Bring the tribe of Levi near, and set them before Aaron the priest, and they shall serve him, and shall guard his duty, and the duty of all the congregation before the tent of appointment, to do the service of the dwelling place. And they shall guard all the furnishings of the tent of appointment, and the duty of the children of Israel, to do the service of the dwelling place. And you shall give the Levites to Aaron and his sons. They are the given ones, given to me among the children of Israel. And appoint Aaron and his sons, and they shall guard their priesthood. And the stranger who comes near shall be put to death. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Look, I myself have taken the Levites from among the children of Israel, instead of every firstborn who opens the womb among the children of Israel. And the Levites shall be mine, because all the firstborn are mine, on the day that I struck all the firstborn in the land of Mizraim. I set apart to myself all the firstborn in Israel, both man and beast. They are mine. I am Yahweh. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe in the wilderness of Sinai, saying, Register the children of Levi by their fathers' houses, by their clans. Register every male from a new moon or month, old and above. So Moshe registered them according to the word of Yahweh, and as he commanded. And these are the sons of Levi by their names: Gershon, Kirath, and Merari. And these are the names of the sons of Gershon from their clans: Laban and Shimei. And the sons of Kedath by their clans: Aram and Yishar, Hebron and Uzziel. And the sons of Merari by their clan: Mahli and Mushi. These are the clans of the Levites by their fathers' houses. From Gershon came the clan of the Libanites, and the clan of the Shemites. These are the clans of the Gershonites. Their registered ones according to the number of all the males from a new moon, old and above. Their registered ones were 7,500. The clans of the Gershonites were to camp westward behind the dwelling place. And the leader of the father's house of the Gershonites, Ephron, son of Lahab. And the duty of the children of Gershon in the tent of appointment was the dwelling place, and the tent with its coverings, and the coverings of the door of the tent of appointment, and the screens of the courtyard, and the covering of the door of the courtyard, which is all round the dwelling place, and the slaughter place, and their cords, according to all its service. And from Kedah came the clan of the Amorites, the clan of the Yezerites, and the clan of the Hebronites, and the clan of the Uzzielites. These were the clans of the Kenites. In number, all the males from new moon old and above were 8,600, guarding the duty of the set-apart place. The clans of the children of Kedah were to camp on the south side of the dwelling place, and the leader of the father's house of the clans was Kireth, was Elphasa, son of Yezerah, and their duty was the ark, and the table, and the lampstand, and the slaughter places, and the utensils of the set-apart places in the service, and the covering, and all its service. And Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, was to be chief over the leaders of the Levites, with oversight of those who guard the duty of the set-apart place. From Merari came the clan of the Melbites, and the clan of the Mushites. These were the clans of Merari, and their number were registered ones. All the males from the new moon old above were 6,200. And the leader of the father's house, the clans of Merari, were Sorelli, son of Abieliah. I'm going with that. These were to camp on the north side of the dwelling place, and the north and the appointed duty of the children of Merari were the boards of the dwelling place, and its bars, and its columns, and its sockets, and its utensils, and all its service. The columns of the courtyard all around, with their sockets, and their pegs, and their cords, and those who were to camp before the dwelling place on the east before the tent of appointment, were Moshe and Aaron and his sons, guarding the duty of the set-apart place, and the duty of the children of Israel. But the stranger who came near was to be put to death. All the registered ones of the Levites, whom Moshe and Aaron registered at the mouth of Yahweh, by their clans, all the males from a new moon old and above were 22,000. And Yahweh said to Moshe, register all the firstborn males of the children of Israel from a new moon old and above, and take the number of their names. And you shall take the Levites for me. I am Yahweh. Instead of all the firstborn among the children of Israel, and the livestock of the Levites, instead all the firstborn among the livestock of the children of Israel. And Moshe registered the firstborn among the children of Israel, as Yahweh commanded him, and all the firstborn males by the number of their names from one new moon old and above of the registered ones were 22,273. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, take the Levites instead of all the firstborn among the children of Israel, and the livestock of the Levites instead of their livestock, and the Levites shall be mine. I am Yahweh. And for the ransom of the 273 of the firstborn of the children of Israel, who are more than the number of the Levites, you shall take 5 shekels for each one, head by head. Take it by the shekel of the set apart place, the shekel of 20 gerhons. And you shall give the silver, the ransom of those who are in excess among them, to Aaron and his sons. And Moshe took this ransom silver from those who were over and above those who were ransomed by the Levites. From the firstborn of the children of Israel, he took the silver, 1,365 pieces, according to the shekel of the set apart place. And Moshe gave the ransom silver to Aaron and to his sons, according to the word of Yahweh, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. Book of Kings, first book, chapter 15 on page 368. And in the 18th year of the sovereign of Urim's son Nebat, Urim became sovereign of Judah. He reigned 3 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Maacah, the granddaughter of Absalom. And he walked in all the sins of his father, which he had done before him, and his heart was not perfect to Yahweh his Elohim, as was the heart of his father David. But for David's sake, Yahweh his Elohim gave his lamp in Jerusalem to raise up his son after him, and by establishing Jerusalem. For David did what was right in Yahweh's eyes, in the eyes of Yahweh, and did not turn aside from all that he commanded him all the days of his life, except in the matter of Uriah the Hittite. And there was fighting between Rahim and Yarab all the days of his life. And the rest of the acts of Abim and all that he did, are they not written? And the rest of the acts of Abim and all that he did, are they not written in the book of annals of the sovereigns of Judah? And there was fighting between Abim and Narim. And Abim slept with his fathers, and they buried him in the city of David. And Asa, his son, reigned in his place. And in the 20th year of Joram, sovereign of Israel, Asa became sovereign over Judah. And he reigned 41 years in Jerusalem, and his grandmother's name was Maacah, the granddaughter of Absalom. And Asa did what was right in the eyes of Yahweh, as his father David had done, and put away the cult prostitutes from the land, and removed all the idols that his fathers had made. And he also removed Maacah, his grandmother, from being sovereign's mother, because she had made an abominable image of Asherim. And Asa cut down her abominable image and burned it in the Wadi Kiram. But the high places were not removed. However, Asa's heart was perfect with Yahweh all his days. And he brought into the house of Yahweh the set-apart items of his father, and his own set-apart items, silver and gold and utensils. And there was fighting between Asa and Baasha, sovereign of Israel, all their days. And Baasha, sovereign of Israel, came up against Judah and built Raham, to keep anyone from going out or coming in to Asa, sovereign of Judah. And Asa took all the silver and gold that was left in the treasuries of the house of Yah, and the treasuries of the sovereign's house, and gave them into the hand of his servants. And sovereign Asa sent them to Ben-Hadad, son of Tebrim, son of Hizah, sovereign of Aram, whom dwelt in Damascus, saying, Let there be a covenant between you and me, as there was between my father and your father. Look, I have sent you present of silver and gold. Come, break your covenant with Bashan, sovereign of Israel, so that he withdraws from me. And Ben-Hannah listened to sovereign Asa, and sent the commanders of his armies against the cities of Israel, and struck Yain, and Dan, and Abel Beth, Makkah, and Kenath, with all the land of Naphtali. And it came to be, when Bashan heard it, that he stopped building Ramaham, and remained in Terash. Then sovereign Asia summoned all Judah. None were exempt, and they took away the stones and timber of Ramaham, which Bashan had used for building. And with them sovereign Asia built Geba of Benjamin, of Mizpah, and the rest of all the acts of Asa, and all his might, and all that he did, and that the cities that he built, are they not written in the book of annals of the sovereigns of Judah? But in the time of his old age, as he was diseased in his feet. Asa slept with his fathers, and was buried with his fathers in the city of David, his father. And Jehoshaphat, his son, reigned in his place. And Nahib, son of Urim, became sovereign of Israel in the 2nd year of Asa, sovereign of Judah. And he reigned over Israel 2 years. And he did evil in the eyes of Yahweh, and walked in the way of his father, and in his sin, by which he made Israel sin. And Bashan, son of Ahid, of the house of Yishkar, conspired against him, and Baasha struck him at Gibbethon, which belonged to the Philistines, for Nahib, and all Israel had laid siege to Gibbethon. And Bashan killed him in the 3rd year of Asa, sovereign of Judah, and reigned in his place. And it came to be, when he became sovereign, that he struck all the house of Yarbam. He did not leave Yarum anyone breathing, until he had destroyed him according to the word of Yahweh, which he had spoken by his servant Abid the Shilonite. Because of the sins of Yarum, which he had sinned, and by which he had made Israel sin, because of his provocation with which he had provoked Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, and the rest of Nahib, and all that he did, are they not written in the book of annals of sovereigns of Israel? And there was fighting between Asa and Bashan, sovereign of Israel, all their days. In the 3rd year of Asa, sovereign of Judah, Bashan, son of Ain, became sovereign over all Israel in Tershan, and reigned 24 years. And he did evil in the eyes of Yahweh, and walked in the way of Yarum, and in his sin, by which he had made Israel sin. Psalms 109 on page 710. Do not be silent, O Elohim, of my praise, for the mouth of the wrong and the mouth of the deceiver have opened against me. They have spoken against me with false tongue. They have surrounded me with words of hatred, and they attack me without cause. In return for my love, they accuse me while I am in prayer, and they repay me evil for good, and hatred for my love. Appoint over him one who is wrong, and let an accuser stand at his right hand. When he is judged, let him be found wrong, and let his prayer become sin. Let his days be few, let another take his office. Let his children be fatherless, and his wife a widow. And let his children always wander and beg, and seek food out of their ruins. Let the creditor lay a snare for all he has, and let strangers plunder his labor. Let him have no one to extend loving commitment, nor any to show favor to his fatherless children. Let his descendants be cut off, their name be blotted out in the next generation. Let the crookedness of his fathers be remembered before Yahweh, and let not the sin of his mother be blotted out. Let them always be before Yahweh, and let him cut off their remembrance from the earth, because he did not remember to show loving commitment, but persecuted the poor and needy man, and the broken-hearted to put to death. He also loved cursing, so let it come to him. Cursing is not using bad words, it's literally calling on God to do bad things to people. That's cursing. And he did not delight in blessing, so let him be far from him. And he put cursing on as with his garment, so let it enter in his inward parts like water, into his bones, and like oil. Let it be on him like a cloak he wraps around himself, as a girdle that he always girds on. This is the reward of my accusers from Yahweh, and to those speaking evil against my being. But you, O Yahweh, Master, deal with me from your name's sake. Because your loving commitment is good, deliver me, for I am poor and needy, and my heart is pierced within me. I have gone like a lengthening shadow. I have been driven away like a locust. My knees are weak through fasting, and my flesh grows lean from fatness. And I have become a reproach to them. They see me, they shake their heads. Help me, O Yahweh, my Elohim. Save me according to your loving commitment, and let them know that this is your hand. You, Yahweh, you have done it. Let them curse, but you bless. They shall arise, but be ashamed, and let your servant rejoice. Let my accusers put on shame, be wrapped in their own confusion as in a cloak. I greatly thank Yahweh with my mouth, and I praise him in the midst of the throng. For he stands at the right hand of the poor to save from those judging his being. Proverbs 19 on page 746. Better is the poor walking in his integrity than one of perverse lips who is a fool. Also, desire without knowledge is not good, and he who hurries with his feet sins. The foolishness of a man perverts his ways, and his heart is wroth against Yahweh. Wealth adds many friends, but the poor is separated from his friend. A false witness does not go unpunished, and he who breathes out lies does not escape. Many entreat the favor of the noble, and all are friends to him who gives gifts. All the brothers of the poor shall hate him. How much more shall his friends go far from him? He pursues promises, they are gone. He who gets heart loves his own life. He who guards understanding finds good. A false witness does not go unpunished, and he who breathes out lies perishes. Luxury is not fitting for a fool, much less for a servant to rule over princes. A man's discretion makes him patient, and his adoring is to pass over a transgression. The sovereign's wrath is like a roaring lion, but his delight is like dew on the grass. A foolish son is a calamity to his father, and the contentions of a wife are a continual dripping. Houses and riches are the inheritance from fathers, but an understanding wife is from Yahweh. Laziness makes one fall into a deep sleep, and an idle being suffers hunger. He who guards the commands guards his life. He who despises his way dies. He who shows favor, blessings to the poor, lends to Yahweh, and he repays his deed. Discipline your son because there is an expectation, and do not set your being on his destruction. One of the great wrath bears punishment, for if you rescue him, you only have to do it again. Listen to counsel and accept discipline, so that you are wise in your latter end. Many are the plans in a man's heart, but it is the counsel of Yahweh that stands. What is desirable in a man is his loving commitment, and a poor man is better than a liar. The fear of Yahweh leads to life, and he remains satisfied. He is not visited by evil. A lazy one buries his hand in a dish and does not bring it back to his mouth. Strike a scoffer, and the simple is made wise, and reprove one who has understanding. And he discerns knowledge. He who plunders a father, chases away his mother, is a son causing shame and bringing a reproach. Cease, my son, to hear discipline, and you shall stray from the words of knowledge. A witness abilia scorns right ruling, and the mouth of the wrong ones devours wickedness. Judgments are in store for scoffers, and beatings for the backs of fools. On the book of Acts, chapter 5, on page 1056. But a certain man named Hananiah, with Sapphira his wife, sold the possession, and he kept back from the price, his wife also being aware of it, and brought a certain part, and laid it at the feet of the emissaries. But Peter said, Hananiah, why has Satan filled your heart to lie to the set apart spirit, and keep back from the price of the land for yourself? While it remained, did it not remain your own? And after it was sold, was it not in your authority? Why have you conceived this deed in your heart? You have not lied to men, but to Elohim. Then Hananiah, hearing these words, fell down and breathed his last. And a great fear came upon all those who heard this. But the young men arose and wrapped him up, carried him out, and buried him. And it came to be about 3 hours later that his wife came in, not knowing what had taken place. And Simon Peter responded to her, say to me whether you sold the land for so much. And she said, yes, for so much. So Peter said to her, why have you agreed to try the Spirit of Yahweh? Look, the feet of those who have buried your husband are at the door, and they shall carry you out. And immediately she fell down at his feet and breathed her last. And the young men came in, found her dead, carried her out, and they buried her beside her husband. And a great fear came upon all the assembly, and upon all who heard of this. And through the hands of the emissaries, many signs and wonders were done among the people. And they were all with one mind in Solomon's porch. But of the rest, no one had the courage to join them. However, the people made much of them, and more believers were added to the master. Large numbers of both men and women. and that they brought the sick out into the street, and laid them on beds and couches. That at least the shadow of Simon Peter passing by might fall upon some of them. A large number also gathered from the surrounding cities to Jerusalem, bringing sick ones and those who were troubled by unclean spirits, and they were all healed. But the high priest rose up, and all those with him, which is the sect of the Sadducees, and they were filled with jealousy, and seized the emissaries and put them in public jail. But a messenger of Yahweh opened the prison doors at night and brought them out and said, Go and stand in a set apart place and speak to the people all the words of this life. Now when they heard, they went into the set apart place early in the morning and were teaching. But the high priest and those with him came and called the council together with all the elders of the children of Israel, and sent to the prison for them to be brought. But having come, the officers did not find them in the prison, and they went back and reported as such, saying, We found the prison shut in all safety, and the watchers standing outside before the doors. But having opened them, we found no one inside. And as the high priest and the captain of the set apart place of the chief priests heard these words, they were puzzled and wondered what this might be. But one came and reported to them, Look, the men whom you put in prison are standing in the set apart place and teaching the people. Then the captain went with the officers and brought them, not with force, for they feared the people, lest they should be stoned. And having brought them, they set them before the council, and the high priest asked them, saying, Did we not strictly command you not to teach in this name? And look, you have filled Jerusalem with your teaching, and intend to bring the blood of this man upon us. And Simon Peter and the other emissaries answering said, We have to obey Elohim rather than men. The Elohim of our fathers raised up Yeshua, whom you laid hands on, hanging him on a timber, him a priest and a savior Elohim has exalted to his right hand, to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sins. And we are his witnesses to these matters, and also in the set apart spirit whom Elohim has given to those who obey him. And those hearing were cut to the heart and took counsel to kill them. But a certain one of the council stood up, a Pharisee named Gamaliel, a teacher of the Torah, respected by all the people, and ordered them to put the emissaries out for a little while. And he said to them, Men of Israel, take heed to yourselves what you intend to do to these men. For before these days, Toda rose up, claiming to be somebody. A number of men, about 400, did join him. He was slain, and all who obeyed him were dispersed and came to naught. After him, Judah of Galilee rose up in the days of the census, and drew away many people after him. He also perished, and all who obeyed him were scattered. And now I say to you, stay away from these men, and leave them alone, because if this plan or this work is of men, it shall be overthrown. But if it is of Elohim, you are unable to overthrow it, lest you even be found to fight against Elohim. And they heeded his advice, and having called for the emissaries, beating them, they commanded that they should not speak in the name of Yeshua, and let them go. Then indeed they went rejoicing from the presence of the council, because they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name. And daily in a set apart place and in every house they did not cease teaching and bringing the good news, Yeshua the Messiah. Shalom. Make it a great day. Read your Bible. Talk to the Father.